Okay, my name is Paige Sieverts, and today I'm going to be talking to you about physical education classes. So first of all, we're going to take a little trip down memory lane and reminisce for a minute. So I'm going to click this next slide, and if you recognize more than one of these pictures, raise your hand. Anyone? Okay, cool. You can all put your hands down. So these are some pictures I'm sure all of us are very familiar with. Lots of these activities and objects we use growing up at school, in elementary school, preschool, maybe sometimes middle school. So by a raise of hands, how many of you guys enjoyed PE classes? A few. Can I ask one of you guys why, to explain why you enjoyed them?
I liked that it gave me just the time to go and get exercise, with a busy day. But I mean, it was still terrible.
Okay, thank you. By raise of hands, how many of you didn't like these classes? Does someone want to explain why? Zach?
I always felt really sweaty, gross afterwards, and I didn't like it.
Okay, makes sense. All right, so I'm just going to start off with a little bit of history. So the definition of physical education is classes that are taught in schools to teach you about sports and health, etc. So a little bit of history. This is just history of physical education classes in the U.S. So Frederick John actually was a German, and he is known as the father of gymnastics because he started the first gymnastics club in Germany in the late 1700s, early 1800s. And he's such an important figure because George Bancroft actually took his ideas and was one of the first people to implement that into secondary school in the U.S. So he is the founder of the Round Hill School in Northampton, Massachusetts. And so that was kind of one of the first instances of physical education being implemented into the school system. It wasn't until the later 1900s that legislation passed that made physical education classes mandatory for schools, and I believe California was the very first state to pass a legislation such as that. Okay, so why physical education? Why is this such an important thing for school systems? So first of all, it helps develop motor skills and motion patterns for younger children, especially those in preschool and beginning of elementary school. It also helps maintain health in young kids, gives them a break from schoolwork, because I know I have younger siblings, I'm sure some of you do too, but it's hard to get them to sit still at the table for dinner for even 20 minutes. So this gives them time to kind of reset their minds so they can learn more when they go back to class. Also, it helps teach kids healthy lifestyle habits at a young age, and not just with physical activity, also with eating and other things. And studies show that there is a relation between success in the classroom and physical activity. Okay, so motor skills. So there are two types of motor skills. One, there are fine motor skills. All of you guys are using these right now. By evaluating me, you're using your hand to write on paper. Fine motor skills involve one part of your body instead of the whole part. So for younger kids, this could be using Legos, building blocks, such as those pictures on the left. Gross motor skills are motor skills that use your whole entire body for a certain activity. So running, jumping, playing soccer, things like that. Pictures on the right are kind of what that is. So physical education classes don't just teach you about physical activity, like I said, they also teach you healthy habits. I'm sure all of you guys recognize these pictures. We learned about these when we were in elementary school, super young age. So the My Plate kind of teaches kids how to start eating healthier, how to divide your fruits and vegetables, your meats, your grains. Also with the healthy food pyramid, I know as you get older, everyone finds their own diet or meal plan that works better for them, but this is just kind of a good outline for kids at a young age. Also the Got Milk campaigns, Britney Spears, we saw these all over the cafeteria room with figures that we kind of looked up to help and kind of inspired kids to drink milk to grow calcium for their bones. And then the NFL that endorsed and sponsored the Fuel Up Play 60, asking kids to get at least 60 minutes a day of physical activity. Okay, so this is the human brain, and so the hippocampus, the main purpose of this is for memory, so long-term memory, short-term memory. And then the cerebellum is, I don't know if you can see this part right here. And so that cerebellum is in charge of your movements and motion patterns, and they work really well together. And this is why there's such a strong correlation between